Okay, well, good day to you all. This is the Crave Optimal Health Holiday Fun Shop. We got quite a show for you today. I wanted to introduce my fellow pirate, David Bush. You have a few words for the students and the fun goers tonight?
Oh, I'm so excited about being here there, matey. I got a big bottle of gin. I'm going to drink it up. This is 8.6 pounds of fat, and this is what the Americans can gain over the holiday season if they don't pay attention to our healthy holidays tips. And they're going to get the hook if they don't pay attention. We're having a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys being here tonight. This is supposed to be a fun way of learning how to live a healthier lifestyle. We're glad that you're part of our community, and we're glad that you're here. We're going to share some great stories today. We're obviously dressed up to have some fun, but health is a serious matter. If you have a child in your life under the age of 12, they have a 1 in 3 chance of becoming a diabetic. If they're Caucasian, and if they're African American or Hispanic, they have a 2 in 3 chance of becoming a diabetic in their lifetime. So while we can have a lot of fun, we have a lot of serious issues that we're passing down traditions and lifestyles to family members and friends. And this holiday season, we want to give them a different gift. We want to give them a gift of a healthy tradition or a healthy activity that can be incorporated into our life, even if it's just small changes. I hope take this seriously and take away ideas, take notes, treat it like a workshop, but let's have some fun while we're doing it, and let's make it a fun shop and spread the word, spread the health, the hope, and the holiday cheer this season.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. I was thinking for a second though, dude, you're bringing me down. Let's get to having some fun here, but I understand what you're saying, and it's the neat thing about it is that there are things you can do. There's a lot of things you can do to actually change your health, and to really build the life and the health that you really want. Make tomorrow better than yesterday, and that's what we're here to talk about. So we've got a great lineup tonight. I'm gonna share my screen here. We're gonna start off this evening with the preview of what's going to be coming next week. And so essentially we're going to give you a little bit of the lesson of what to look forward to in the future. Then we're going to get to the game show, and then when the game show ends, we'll go right into the discussion portion, so it'll kind of flow a little bit better, because we're probably going to be having questions and conversation around the information that you have read this week. So we've got a couple of guest hosts. You have something, David? I missed something?
No, I was just going to say, is this No Shave November? Because this is getting kind of itchy.
Yeah, I know. It's only been it's 18 days?
Yeah. Well, first up, do you have your presentation you're pulling up there?
Yep, I sure do.
Good. Well, are we going right into Mark?
Yes, we're going to go right into Mark, yep. So welcome, everybody. This is the holiday season, all that. This is Mark. So go ahead and introduce Mark, and then he's going to share with us the preview of the chapter to come.
Yeah. So Mark, talk a little bit more about your story and share how this picture from the beach to the front porch transformed your life and your holiday future.
You bet. Well, a little over 5 years ago that I stepped into a 28-day health challenge. And stepping into that, I didn't quite know what to expect. But what I found is, following a structured process, I lost 25 pounds in that first 28 days. Because I knew that I needed to keep moving the dial forward, I ended up losing 50 pounds in about 3 months. And I was really excited about it. I'm a guy that should have known better, physical therapist, a guy that owns a fitness center, but I wasn't making my fitness and my health a priority. So I saw the opportunity, just in terms of the optimization, to be able to pay that forward, to work with other people. And over the past 5 years, I've really enjoyed being a health coach and working with other clients and other coaches to keep moving the dial forward with our health.
Well, you've had a chance to be a part of this movement that we've been involved in, Craig, or Mark. Talk a little bit more about what this Discover Your Optimal Health ebook has meant to your life.
Real practical applications. I really appreciate Dr. A being direct and to the point with things. My chapter that I'm previewing is chapter 6, called Fueling and Drooling, Eating Healthy for Life. A lot of good principles. I like the whole ebook because it is a quick read. It's pretty straightforward. And for, clients or folks that were a part of my challenge in the past 6-week challenge, really just a lot of good practical information. Even as I preview what I'm looking at with chapter 6, there are a couple highlights that I'm looking at with this. Now, for those of you that are the pirates there, you might be drooling. This is kind of an interesting chapter here, fueling and drooling. But, I'd say a key thing for me, whether it was 5 years ago or even as we're converting into the holidays here, is the whole concept of thinking of food as fuel. And that's been a concept for me early on, where food for me, I'd say, was misplaced to be entertainment. And, even as we look at reframing some of those triggers that we deal with, looking at food as fuel and just fueling our bodies about every 2 to 3 hours, fueling ourselves 5, 6, maybe 7 times per day. I'd say a big aha also is those triggers that we're dealing with. And I'll give a little bit of a clue here that there's going to be a multiple choice question talking about triggers next week. So stay tuned on that. But thinking about those triggers, what are the triggers? For myself, triggers are stress. Triggers are stress relieving. Triggers are food is there, so I eat it. So those are key things. Even as we're going into the holidays, holidays can be a stressful time, whether it's stressful with family, with friends, with coworkers, as we've got Christmas get-togethers. Another thing, another takeaway that goes throughout the book, throughout the ebook, but even is framed up at the end of chapter 6 here, is the whole stop, challenge, and choose concept. And I'd say even looking at the next 6 to 8 weeks as we're heading into the holidays, stop, take a breath as you're maybe challenged in terms of things that are around you. There's a lot of junk food, there's a lot of baked goods, there are a lot of things surrounding us. And not to say that you can't eat any of it, but just be a little bit smarter about what's around you and take the time to think through what's happening and where you're at with things.
That's a great recap, Mark, and a lot of great notes in there, just in terms of using the mindfulness and stopping what you're thinking about, maybe moving forward with in your typical tradition, your typical culture or social setting, and actually challenging that thought, challenging the long-term impact of those choices, and knowing that you've decided to choose to live a healthier lifestyle. So even if it is just a smaller bite or a smaller portion, if that's what you choose to do, some people will choose, abstinence from certain things because they're, in the fat burning state, or they're really trying to make some serious progress on their weight loss. But just that mental reflection, or that mindfulness, as Dr. A calls it in his book, and that breathing process, I know that's been big for me. Craig, do you have any thoughts on chapter 6?
Yeah, it's nothing that hasn't already been covered. Quite frankly, it's just a process that we work on over time, and you guys covered it really well. So, no.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing your story, Mark. You've been a great inspiration. And by the way, Mark is a healthcare professional. He can't maybe be as unprofessional as us pirates here. So he's a physical therapist, and just recently there he's got his home brew.
Yeah.
But Mark is a physical therapist who actually worked in physical therapy for over 20 years, and still does some consulting in that work. But now he does full-time health coaching and wellness with his fitness business and health coaching. So it's great to see him leading that charge and moving away from traditional care and actually moving into true health care.
Mm-hmm. Exactly it. Well, thank you both, Mark and David. It's my pleasure to actually introduce our next guest. She's from Louisiana. Her name is Gina, and she's going to be covering actually chapter 5 for the preview. And so here's a picture of Gina, her before and after photos. And so Gina, if you can unmute yourself, and then you can jump in and tell us a little bit about your story as your health journey. I know you're not at your goal yet. You're still on your journey, but if you'd like to share with us a little bit about your journey to this point, and then a few things, takeaways, and action items that you have from the reading.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank y'all so much for giving me the opportunity to share and everything. And Yeah, I'm 130 pounds down and I'm not done. So I am trucking along and tuning into my support and everything. And the weird thing about me is this has just been a lifelong struggle for me. This is nothing new from being a kid. And I went to college and I did it. I lost 150 pounds in college and 2 hours a day in the gym and became this active person and everything. But I knew when I moved home, I knew I had to make myself go into this, mindset of health and all this other stuff to be able to sustain it. So what that tells me now, looking back, is I never really had that healthy mind component. And that's something that I'm finally getting at this stage in my life because, who loses that much and gains it plus back, to have to start all over again and to think that it's even possible, which obviously it totally, totally is. So, and then what impact it makes on my family now to be able to see it, that I'm actually getting to inspire my own kids. So it's been truly life-changing for me.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, congratulations on your journey so far.
Thank you so much. And the little ironic thing about chapter 5 for me being my assignment, which I don't even think my health coaches even know, that one's titled The Weight Challenge, Living in a Candy Shop. And just reading the title, I'm like, this is so ironic. I mean, I grew up in a grocery store. Literally, it was a candy shop around me, I did not have to hunt. I did not have to gather like they did back in the days and all that kinds of stuff that literally all I had to do was reach and use my fingertips, to this, get whatever I wanted. And so to read this chapter, it was my past life. I mean, that I literally lived in a candy shop. We didn't move around a lot or anything like that. And everything, just as Dr. A has states about, us eating this healthy way, the way that we're feeding our bodies, fueling our bodies the appropriate way, is not by all the sugar and the processed foods that I once fed myself, and I once fed my kids and stuff. So it's not an overnight thing. So obviously, 10 months now into my journey and being 40, it took that long for me to learn some lessons and honestly, being totally transparent, relearn some lessons in this chapter. And my health coaches, I'm looking back a week ago, maybe 2 days ago, that I'm relearning a lot of this stuff, a lot of these lessons that I thought I had. And it goes back to the basis of what I tell my clients, and it's Stop, Challenge, Choose. I kept thinking I was stopping. I even told my health coach on a call one time, like, okay, I'm asking myself, why am I not stopping while I'm reaching for it? And I'm saying I stopped because I said it in my head, but that's the part that I still struggle with. And it's something that I'm actually consciously working on right now. So this is exactly what I needed to be reading. That with that stopping, and nobody laugh, my health coaches that are listening, comes along with that breathing comes along with it. So, so that's a lesson, and that I am working on more. I'm trying to consciously become more mindful in that moment of the stop, whether it be food related or stress related, I thought I got better with it in the food relation part, but it's those triggers, like, just like Mark was mentioning and everything earlier. It's, it's truly allowing ourselves to stop, breathe in the moment, and actually give our mind that that break to actually be conscious of why I'm still reaching, or I make myself stop reaching before I go to that next step. So, so it's just really trying to help us, to refocus and stuff. And in this chapter, he does have, talk about the assessment also, and I'm going to go back because I do know from 10 months ago starting this, we make that progress, and, we're all in different places on our journey, and, and it's being, proud of how far I came, and I'm proud that you might be on the journey and you're starting, but that's just all the steps in the right direction.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Gina. That's great. I know it's going to be a good chapter for us to read this week. And so thanks for taking the time and giving us a preview and sharing your story with us tonight. And I like your pirate costume.
I have a hat. I'm not really used to doing that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Good job. Good job, Gina. No, I love it. So we've got another pirate here online, and he's got a pirate map in the back here. So I want to toss it over here to Steve Young, and one of his younger pirates looks like is over there with him. You got something for us tonight, Steve?
Yeah, I don't have the pirate R-80 down yet, but just real quick, if you look behind us, our ship has landed. Go ahead and show them where the ship is. Well, right there, and I've got my scout out, and a lot of people are floating down the river of ordinary health. You know, they're floating in the oceans, ordinary health. A lot of pirate ships are out there just kind of hoping the wind draws them in, and they can sail just right, and they get the weather perfect, and they can just get their ship turned around to where they want to go. But we actually found out that the map led us to a place called the Optimal Health Mountain, and that's where the treasure is. It's on top of the mountain. So what we're trying to do is get out of the ship. We're trying to find the path. We think we found it. We think this little station here, this little huddle up here is part of that map. It's part of the station we're on, and we're going to continue to climb that mountain. As you can see, the treasure, Craig, is way up on top of that hill.
Mm-hmm.
There's a distinct path that's already set for us. We just got to get there and pull more ships out of the water to help us climb it, because I think we're going to need, from the looks of the mountain, it looks pretty slippery, it looks pretty rough, and looks like there's a lot of things trying to pull us back down.
You know, one of the things that it looks like the trail is not a single track. It looks like it's built for 2 or more wide, so it looks like you'll probably be going up there with a group of people. Is that true? That's
very true, and actually what I'm hearing from people on top of the mountain, they're saying bring some material, widen the path, smooth it out, and really create a super highway up the hill. And we're going to try to fast track it a little bit, but we'll see what happens with that map.
All right. Well, together I think we'll make it, because when one of us slips, we got a bunch of other people that are holding us up. So awesome. Thanks for the treasure map analogy, and tell your little scout there for thanks for his help too. Hi, buddy. All right, Dave. So now we're going to jump over to the actual game show. And so, Dave, do you want me to run through how the voting works tonight?
Yeah, if you want to bring up the PowerPoint presentation, I'll walk them through. Okay. If you haven't been on this before, you have a little chat feature down in the bottom of your screen. For some of you using phones, you may find it in a different location. But the chat feature is the way that we are answering our questions tonight. There's going to be a total of 6 questions, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that when you see the correct answer, that you write down the number, and then you write down the number of the question, and then you write down the letter of the answer right after that. And we're going to do our best job to see who's the first person that answers the question correctly. And then we'll call on you, we'll unmute you, and then you'll be able to answer the question, and then we'll find if that's the correct answer or not. Yep. Let's go ahead and have everybody go ahead and just test that out. Put in the number 1, or type your name in there just so that everybody knows how it works. And if you just put in the enter button, then it should be fine. You have to reply to all. You know,
what would be fun to do is actually just list the state that you're from. And that might be kind of fun to see where everybody's from, just as a quick little a test. The other thing, too, is if you're on an iPad or an iPhone, it's a little bit different. You can bring up the chat window. If you're on the telephone, well, you're not going to be able to play. You're going to be able to listen, and you'll be able to comment, of course, but there's no way to chat in on the telephone. So, unfortunately, we don't got that going for us. So, how's the chat window looking? Good?
Looking good. Everybody's got fast fingers tonight. Let's rock and roll.
All right, all right. Well, I got a little treat for us tonight. Listen to this. Let's see here. All right. Okay, so the first question here, folks. This comes from chapter 4. Excuse me, this is chapter 3. So chapter 3, which is the choose chapter, and it says, to increase in positive choices combined with the decrease in negative choices will trigger, and here's your options. This is another word for the butterfly effect, but it's going to trigger, is it an eating frenzy? B, a feel-good attitude and a community health movement? Or is it C, a chain of events that will help you transform your health and life?
All right, the Curve Boys were the first up with the first answer, so go ahead and unmute yourself, Claudia, and you and Richard have the first opportunity to respond.
Yeah, as we increase our positive choices and decrease the negative choices, that just drives us towards health. It's a exponential curve that we go on. The more positive choices we're making and the fewer negative choices, you start actually creating new healthy habits, and the old unhealthy habits drop away.
Mm-hmm. So
that would be, the answer is letter C.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is correct. Ding, 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 ding. So Claudia, you and Richard have a 1 point on the quiz, and you are right on top of that in terms of every choice that you make. It builds up the willpower, it builds up the skill power, and when you start to see the results, you start seeing some of the thrill power start to power your choices, so that the willpower is not the only thing you're holding on to. So great job, Claudia.
Now, I believe that they get bonus points too because they're dressed in their pirate costumes, by the way. Nicely done. Yep, well done.
Nice.
So they get 1 real point and 1 brownie point. Yeah. All right.
Ding, ding, ding.
This one's a negative choice, I think.
But it's a pirate. It's a pirate.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep, exactly. Okay, so question number 2.
So put a 2 in front of your answer this time.
Yep. So every choice you make has a life of its own, a consequence, or a negative outcome.
Well, we got them coming in fast and furious here, Craig.
Okay.
All right. So the first answer is Ann Galliano. Ann, unmute yourself.
Hi, good evening.
Hello there. What is your answer for this question?
Consequence B.
Survey says.
Ding, 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 ding.
Nice.
Good job, Ann.
Hey, Ann, do you have any examples of things that, some choices that you've made over the holidays that have had some good consequences?
Yes. I know that making a plan ahead of time, such as visualizing, say I'm going to an event and I visualize myself there ahead of time, and I make choices ahead of time so that I feel prepared when I go there. And when I get there, I do feel more empowered, and then I tend to be more successful. So the consequences is a positive one for me.
That's great. And then reach the reward that just keeps on giving, even though maybe it doesn't give you that immediate satisfaction like a unhealthy choice does. The long-term reward is a consequence that makes you want to keep practicing it, right?
Yeah.
You know, David, one of those things I was thinking about too is that immediate gratification of the enjoyment of whatever that food, or even overeating. Right afterwards, you have an immediate lack of gratification because you're usually feeling a little bit full and a little bit yucky. I know that when I've made good choices about what I've eaten, afterwards I get not only the gratification of eating food that tastes good, but I get the secondary benefit of knowing that I took good. So I have that sweet, it's not only a sweet taste and food that tastes good, but I have the feeling that I've taken good care of myself. And so that's that choice that has those positive consequences that last. So excellent. All right.
All a matter of perspective, right? It's focusing in on what can I do versus what can't I do when I'm trying to live a healthier lifestyle. It's all just a shift in perspective.
That's exactly it. All right. So this is question number 3. You simply have to start paying attention to the daily choices that support the essentials of, is it well-being, a healthy mind, or a healthy body?
All right, Claudia and Richard are on top of it today. Claudia and Richard, unmute yourself.
Okay.
The answer is B, and survey says?
Oh, did we say A?
We said A.
We said A.
Oh, they said A. What do you think, Craig?
I think.
Oh, they nicely recovered.
They're like, we said, oh, no, they got it wrong. Oh, no. All right, you guys. Okay, so that's right. So, Claudia, you guys have 2 game points and 1 round point. Well,
And a bonus point for
and a
And
bonus
3
point.
because of the costume.
pirate garb.
Exactly. Nicely done. All right. And then Anne's got 1, and that's it right so far. Okay. So now we're moving on, and this truly is chapter 4. And let's see here. Yep, well-being. So look at that. Well, something happened with my PowerPoint. So the answer to this one looks like it's B. Once you've figured out your primary choices, along with what's most important for you to work on, what's next in the step. And the choices were getting a pill, get a pill that makes these primary choices and goals happen without any effort, or identify a series of secondary choices and focus on your progression in those areas, or is it work with the hypnotist to trick yourself into eliminating bad habits? And the answer is B. So we're going to give...
Watch my hook. Watch my hook.
That's right. We're going to give David the bonus points for that one. He's got to get on the board, right? All right, next question. Habits are created instantly when we consciously decide to form one, by making decisions constantly a few times, and then it becomes automatic, or habits are created in our sleep.
All right, here. They're coming in fast and heavy here. All right, so we've got Mark Blankenspore is up next. Mark.
Yes, B, happens consciously a few times, making decisions consciously a few times, then it becomes automatic. So it's creating that behavior, making that a habit, and making that happen consistently.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Can you give any examples, Mark, of things that you've done that have just become automatic for you in terms of the holiday season?
You know, one thing is going to bed at the same time, which maybe seems kind of boring or basic, but I go to bed at the same time, so I get my quality sleep, and I'm ready to go the next day. I'd say that's one thing. Minimizing TV. I mean, that's another thing that I've succumbed to in the past, watching too much TV or maybe falling asleep in front of the TV. So as I can have the structure of saying, you know what, I'm not going to let that master me, that's been another consistent habit.
Great. Final question for Chapter 4 is, this would be question number 3 for Chapter 4, so make sure you preface your question or your answer with a 3 in the letter of your answer.
Yeah, the habits loop describes how a habit can make us dizzy or loopy, decisions and actions resulting in a reward, then a craving for more of that reward, or a negative habit that can be broken. What is a habit loop?
All right, let's see. It's on my screen. I'm getting, man, everybody's moving my screen down again every time they answer. Hold on here. Let's see. Goodness, it keeps moving on me. Sorry. Hold on. Kim and Jeremy, let's hear from them tonight. Kim and Jeremy, you there?
Yeah. Yes, we said B.
B. Did you take the screen away, Craig?
Oh, sorry, yep, coming back. Yep, so the answer is B. Yes, that is correct. Nicely done.
Nice, and the bonus point for Jeremy having this patch on his eye and his good pirate outfit. I'm a little bit concerned about your sanity, Kim. But
All right,
Kim and Jeremy, talk to us just real quick and share just a quick tip of how you've applied that particular aspect of breaking the behavioral chain or breaking the behavioral loop and creating a new habit by identifying that loop process.
Well, I just think it's the first step is becoming aware of those habits, and then trying to find some substitutions. So I know for me, sometimes stress can be a big trigger, and so tried to find out. I guess for me, being on the 5-in-1 allowed me to know mentally that I had all of the fuel my body needed, all the nutrients, everything, and that then allowed me to be more reflective of why I really wanted to eat during those times of stress. And so that allowed me to then try to find ways of dealing with the stress, like deciding to take a walk instead of going for the food right away.
That's great.
Hey, one other thing, thank you, Kim and Jeremy. One of the things that you guys may not, I was just thinking about this morning when I was getting ready for work, is we had this big challenge, and we had a team competition in that challenge, and there, in one particular challenge, there was 8,500 people, and there was a team that actually won the most points out of all the teams, and Kim was the team captain on the team, took away the 1,000 extra bonus points for the team. So I thought I would give her a little bit of props, not only for answering the question right tonight, being awesome on her own journey, but obviously she's an awesome team leader and her team did great.
I wish I could take credit for the competitive nature of my team, but there was more than just me that was competitive. So
well, it had to have been, but yeah, it was nicely done. That was a tough competition. Nicely done. Well,
it was
excellent.
fun.
Yeah. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and stop the recording, and then we're gonna basically turn this over into the audience participation portion. And so for those of you that are here live, this is one of the benefits of being live on the call. And for those of you that were watching the recording, we hope to see you live next week. We'll see you later.